What's going on, guys? It's the middle of my work day, and I wanted to just drop in and share some stuff with you guys. I've had a really good past 90 days. I hit 76K in the last 90 days, and I only did that one other time. I only eclipsed 75K one other time, and that was like right around COVID in 2021. And the main reason for that is everyone was sitting at home, so online purchasing just there was like a frenzy of it, and everyone was getting stimulus checks. So that made a lot of sense. But now I've been grinding and working hard to hit these numbers. And I kind of want to share with you guys how I got to this point and how I'm hitting these kind of numbers. So the average sale price is very important. You want to keep an eye on your average sale price. If you've had 100 sales in the last 90 days and you sold $2,000, your average sale price is now $20. It's a simple math equation, right? So you want to keep an eye on that and you want to try to keep that number going up. I do need to interject here and tell you guys that a lot of these sales from the past 90 days are from all that AC tech equipment that I bought and was liquidating. So if you watched any of my past few videos, you saw that I had huge like $1,600 sales, $2,500 sales, and then some of the bigger kits were selling for $3,500 each. So a lot of that is attributed to what I'm doing here, but also that being said, I'm only working on eBay part-time. I also run an online auction business where I do these huge online auctions every 3 weeks, and that literally takes about 40% of my work hours. And I run the website where I'm hosting the online auctions as well. So I'm essentially running three companies, and all these numbers were accomplished with me only working on eBay about 20 to 25 hours a week. Now I've streamlined my processes over the years, which makes that more and more possible. And I have two like part-time employees that are helping me with these processes as well. So all that kind of is a factor into the way I'm able to hit these numbers over the past 90 days. The first thing I want to say before I jump into it is this can't be done overnight, right? I started this business in 2013 out of my spare bedroom, and now here you go, fast forward 13 years later. So we're all at a different place in our journey. So by all means, like don't compare yourself to me. There's people that are selling 10 times as much as me online, and I don't compare myself to them. We're all where we are in our own journey, and that's okay. That's why we watch videos like this so we can maybe pick up some new information and use it in our own business. That's kind of helped me grow by learning from other resellers on YouTube. So hopefully I can pay it forward in a way and give you guys little nuggets of information along the way. But yeah, focus on that average sale price, very important. Another important thing is sell-through rate. I know a lot of you might have heard this, and I didn't implement it into my business or even know what it was or pay attention to it until I was maybe on year 5 or year 6, but I've been kind of focusing on it ever since. So the sell-through rate is pretty simple to see as well. If I look up, say, this skateboard here, this Shorty skateboard deck, if there's 10 listed and 100 sold in the last 90 days, because all the data you see on eBay when you search something is from the past 90 days. So you're getting a good snapshot of the current market. So if there's 10 listed and 100 sold, that's a really hot item. If I list that deck today, I can almost guarantee it's going to be sold within a matter of days or just a couple of weeks, right? Because there's so many that have sold and only so little listed. So it has a huge sell through rate. Conversely, if we looked it up and there was 10 sold and 100 listed, that means in the last 90 days, only 10 sold and there's still 100 sitting on eBay. So that tells me that that item is going to sit for months and months potentially before it sells. I do still buy items like that, but I'm always kind of using a bunch of different variables, right? The size of the item, the profit margin. If there's a good profit margin, I don't mind sitting on it for a while. If there's not a good profit margin, not a good sell through rate, it's a lose lose. I don't really care if it's $10 and one sold for 50 and there's 100 listed. I don't want that thing sitting on my shelf taking up space for months and months, and I'll probably sell it at a sale price for like 25 or 35 after fees make 10 bucks on it after holding it for a year. That's what we're trying to avoid. So pay attention to the sell through rate, and that'll help you really get items in the door and out the door. Next thing that kind of attributes to those last two is leave lower price items behind. And that was hard for me when I first started. I would pretty much buy anything that can make a buck. If I found a video game for $10 at a yard sale and I could sell it for 25 free shipping and make like 7 bucks after fees, I was doing that because in my mind, like, oh, 70% profit, that's great. And it is great at times. Don't get me wrong, I still do sell a lot of stuff like that, but I try not to like buy it, go out and source single items like that. Sometimes I'll do large buyouts and be like, how much for all these video games? And then I buy 40 video games, and then those kind of things are mixed in with the bundle. But to go out and source items like that, I really try to leave items like that aside and look for like the really higher end items. I could find a really good collectible that sells for like 150 bucks at a yard sale, and the person might be asking 50 bucks. I offer 40, whatever the case may be. That's a good flip. That's the kind of stuff I'm looking for, and also that has a good sell through rate, like we mentioned earlier. Another way to get good sales and then also keep your average sale price up is like these CDs behind me. As I process them, when I look them up, if one's worth 25, 30, 35, 40, I'm going to go ahead and list that item by itself. But I'm also, as I'm going through them, I'm lotting them up in genres, the ones that only have a low value, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12. I don't really want to sell those little tiny sales like that. So I put them all in genres: country, rock, folk, etc. So then once I get 5 or 6 together, I kind of have a good idea of what each one's worth, and then I lot it up. So I might put 10 of them together for 50 bucks. Now when that lot sells, I'm getting rid of bulk and I'm getting a $50 sale instead of making 10 individual listings of 5, 7, 9, 10, $12 and having to deal with those micro sales over the next few months. It's best to lot up these cheaper items and give a good deal to the buyer, and then just move the items out of your warehouse or your garage or your storage unit or your spare bedroom or whatever you are working out of. Next thing you want to do is list often with frequency, as often as you can. Like I have an employee that makes drafts for me, and so I have a pretty much have a draft bank. Right now I probably have like 130 drafts ready to go. And then a couple times a day, I'll just allocate like 25-minute blocks of time to list as many of those items as I can. And I'll do that a few times throughout the day. So I'm able to list like, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 plus items in a single day because the drafts are done on the back end. A lot of you guys might not have that luxury, but at the same time, if you could set a attainable goal for yourself, like list one item a day and then start there and then move up to 2 items a day, and you can have your set days off, or you can even say, I'm going to list 10 items a day, 4 days a week, to give yourself full days in between for sourcing, packaging, and managing the rest of your business. So that's definitely a good way to do that. List often as you can. One of the most important things you can do is network. And part of the reason I've been so successful in the past 90 days is because I've done a great job networking. And I remember at times in the middle of all this, year 4, year 5, year 6, I was like, where do these people find all this stuff? Like I was going to auctions, yard sales, estate sales, pounding the pavement to get this stuff. But I would watch videos on YouTube where people had stuff kind of coming to their front door. And I was like, man, I wish I had that. But as I kept going along pounding the pavement, I met people along the way, and they would be like, hey, do you buy this or buy that? And I'd end up going to their house, and boom, that's me networking, making a connection. And then those people will call me again and again because I go over there and I pay cash or I give them a fat check, take everything they have. And it's hard to find people like that. So if you show up when you say you're going to show up, and then you buy the items that are good for you and good, and they're trying to sell, they're going to remember you next time they have some good stuff. So as of today, I have people that go and source and bring me stuff weekly. I have a couple guys that buy storage units like multiple times a month. They're buying storage units. They're piling up stuff and then just bringing it to me in bulk. And I'll just go through and be like, hey man, I can give you $1,000 for this pile, 800 bucks for this pile, and oftentimes I can triple my money on these piles. I'm being very conservative, and what I'm thinking to myself I can resell the items for, and then I'm being conservative in what I'm offering them as a bundle cash deal because there's a lot of work for me to do. I have to pay for the labor sometimes. So I have these expensive warehouses that I'm paying monthly rent on. So all that comes into play when I'm, making an offer on something like that. There's a lot of work to be done. Another one is source regularly. You want to be out there sourcing as much as you can. Yard sales, estate sales, live auctions, online auctions. Like I run a local online auction business. We have a lot of resellers buy from us. You just want to find different ways. You can go on Facebook Marketplace, buy out big collections. Find when you go meet these people on Marketplace, hey, do you guys have anything else you want to sell? And maybe they'll have you come to their house and buy a bunch more stuff. That's all part of networking, and that's part of sourcing regularly. It's all kind of bundled up. And as you can see, as I go through these, everything's kind of relatable and interconnected. So all these are very important ways to have a very cohesive, well-oiled, good running business. Next thing you want to do is use eBay's promotional tools, run sales, promote old dead stock items. I always promote pretty much everything in my store that's been listed over 30 days. I'll give items a few weeks to try to sell organically, but after that, I'm adding them to my promotions, and I only pay like 2.1 to 2.5% for promotional items. So it's a nominal fee on the back end. I'm not trying to give eBay any more than that. The rest of the work I do myself. I send offers to buyers as often as possible. I run markdown sales. I run coupon codes. You can find all this under those tabs at the top of your My eBay portion. Just kind of go through there and look at the tools that they offer that you can utilize. And if you can't utilize all these tools, it might be time to get a store subscription and then start to utilize them that way. Next one isn't really a practice, it's just kind of like a rule of thumb. eBay is a volume game, which kind of goes back to a lot of things we talked about today. You want to list as much as you can, just get the stuff out the door, answer questions, have good customer service, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. And then it's just a volume game. Get the stuff in the door, get it processed, listed. Try not to establish a massive death pile. Spend time just like, working on certain aspects of your business, and anything you can do to be more effective and efficient at getting more and more items listed daily or weekly. I wouldn't say daily because some days you can't list because you're sourcing and you're busy with other parts of your business. So just look at your monthly sales and then see how much you've listed, how much you've sold, how much you have listed compared to last month, and just try to have that ticker moving up like a good healthy stock. It's baby steps. It doesn't happen overnight. You can't expect it to happen overnight. You have to be patient, give yourself some grace, work hard, and trust the process. I got a few more things to talk about. This video is running long, so I'm going to get through them as quickly as I can. Have an outlet for cheaper stuff. You want to get cheaper stuff out the door. You want to be able to have yard sales set up at a local flea market, sell bulk inventory on um, Facebook Marketplace, donate to your local thrift stores or places that are a good cause. If it's not worth your time, get rid of it. Don't let stuff pile up. So have an outlet for that cheaper stuff that you're not going to put on eBay. Make sure you have a way to get rid of it so it's not taking up valuable space in your work area. Now, this doesn't apply to everybody, but as your business grows, if you want to scale, if you hit a plateau, you want to utilize helpers. In my opinion, the best utilization in this business for helpers is have them take a lot of photos for you, and then that way you can list it later or make drafts or whatever the case may be. Have them create drafts. You could take a lot of pictures, give them to your employee, and be like, hey, I need you to sit down and make drafts of all these items. You have them make drafts because they might forget something that you want to add, or they might make an error that you need to catch. You don't want to have them make live listings. So have them pile up drafts. Then you can go back at your own time and then finish the drafts. And it only takes about 1 to 2 minutes to finish a draft. So you can run through a lot of them in like an hour per se. Also, another good utilization of employees is just have them like clean up around your work area, utilize them as helpers. If I go clean out a storage unit, I can call a couple guys up or a couple friends. Hey, I'll give you $100 to come meet me at this storage place. We just got to get this whole unit cleared out and get it back to my warehouse and unload it, and then you can go about your day. So oftentimes I like to utilize help like that. So these huge projects and huge buyouts don't absolutely kill me as a single business owner. A very important thing is to keep a healthy eBay account, follow the rules, don't list a bunch of stuff you're not supposed to list. If they take something off, don't put it back on there and put your account at risk. Follow all the rules you can. Have great customer service. I think that's one of the most important things because you don't want negative feedback. It's like a cancer to your eBay store. I'm sure you've heard the word algorithm in regards to eBay. A lot of what you do on there will affect the algorithm. If you get negative feedback, it will negatively affect your algorithm for several days. You can expect a drop in sales or a very huge lull in sales just from one negative feedback. So do everything you can to get positive feedback. If you get a negative, try to work with that person. Send them a feedback revision request if they're open to changing the feedback. Do everything you can to get the feedback changed because like it is literally a cancer to your eBay store. So all that's in line with just having good customer service and having a healthy eBay account. Next thing is eliminate time wasters. You don't want to be like spending half your day watching TV, watching videos on YouTube. Like you set your own lunch break and you can watch a video then, but it's work, work, work during work time. Try not to be scrolling on Facebook and Instagram. I literally like I'll get in habits of where I scroll on Facebook, and right now I don't even have it on my phone because it's a huge distraction. So I'll delete it for weeks at a time, and then I might have it on there for a few days. get caught up or whatever, and then it starts to annoy me again because I'm just there scrolling when I need to be working. So I don't have any of those apps on my phone most work days, so I can be efficient, effective, and eliminate time wasters. One thing as a recommendation, not something that you need to do. I like to use a day planner. I write everything I'm going to do the day before to the next day because it's fresh on my mind. I remember what tasks that are unfinished, so I can make sure I write them down to finish up the next day. That keeps me really going. A lot of times I'll be in the middle of the day and be like, damn, what can I do next? Like, I'm not even sure what I need to be doing, but I have this planner with all the stuff wrote down I need to do, so I can reference that and be like, oh yeah, I need to package up stuff right now, or oh yeah, I forgot I needed to answer all my eBay questions. So it kind of keeps me on task and make sure I don't forget important things. For those of you that are really techy, you could use like Google Calendar or the calendar on your phone, and it kind of has the same value. Next couple things are more of like a mindset or a way to just kind of handle yourself and not handle your business. You need to execute. You need to use your time wisely and execute. Take good pictures, get stuff listed, avoid time wasters. Like I said, all this is interconnected. So just execute, right? Get out there, make the best out of each hour of your day as you possibly can. And it's not going to pay off overnight, but if you continue to do that and work on your efficiency and effectiveness, it just becomes a way of life. It's like going to work out and your muscles get bigger. The more you work out of just staying vigilant, staying busy, and staying on task, eventually you train your brain and it becomes like a sixth sense for you. Last thing of the day I want to talk about is avoid negative mindset. There's a lot of negativity out there. People will say eBay is dead. They'll say it's too late to get in. They'll say the fees are too high. They'll say they don't want to pay taxes. There's a myriad of excuses that you can make. I do extremely well on eBay now, selling well into the six figures, as you can see in this video. So all those fees and all that bullshit, excuse my language, is really nominal in comparison to what you can actually build and grow. You just have to accept the fact that some of that is part of the business, and you run your business. You get rid of people that are time wasters or they sucking the life out of you. So people are either pulling you up or they're pushing you down, right? So a lot of us have people in our lives that are actually just an anchor and they're pulling us down. So if that starts to affect your business, you really need to reassess and be like, how can I, run a healthier business and keep these people separate from me or just cut them out of my life altogether. But that's really all I had to share with you guys today. I felt like I gave you a lot of valuable information there. This is probably one of the most informative videos I've made. So hopefully this will help you along the way. I hope you have a good week or weekend, depending on when you're watching this video. But yeah, thanks again for watching. And until next time, good luck with your sales. Peace.